And she was just like, oh my God, come on. Obviously it's not like that. I'm like, I know, but I'm in a towel right now.
Listen.
So like,
Let's use our words a little bit more wisely.
yeah, I have a proposition. And she didn't even make eye contact with me either, which was like the main. I was like, I mean, like this could honestly go either way at this point. Like, I don't know what you're doing. There was obviously there was nothing.
Yeah.
But
You got to be careful though. Like language can be taken different ways by people.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Like,
100%.
If that was somebody else, they might have told her that they had a crush on her or something.
Like, what? Do you want to know what the proposition was?
Fucking monster. I hate you so much.
So funny.
It is so funny. It's so ridiculous. What was the proposition?
This was the proposition. We were driving from Nevada to Arizona. Hillary did not want to drive from Arizona to Nevada with weed that she could legally possess in both states.
Both states.
Both states.
Both states.
So she was like, hey, we have 6 joints here. If you put it in your bag when we drive from Nevada to Arizona, then we'll split it when you get back. And I was like, I just want to be clear. You want me, who can legally hold it in this state with you, but not legally hold it in Arizona, to carry it over for you, who can legally hold it in both states in case we get caught, which won't happen because it's legal in both states. And she was like, yes. And I was like, and then you're going to give me like $50 worth of weed for it. She's like, yes. I was like, okay, this is the easiest deal ever. This is the fucking dumbest shit.
Fuck. That's beautiful.
You are the worst at math.
Oh my! It blows my mind.
She's really paranoid about it. Like,
yeah.
The most paranoid I've ever seen anybody about it. And it's crazy because it's like people don't give a shit anymore. Like,
not in those states. It's legal. Like,
dude, I was in Montana. It's not legal.
Don't do it into Texas though. Like, you don't drive into Texas with weed. It's just you just don't do it.
Not a good idea.
You don't drive through the fucking border crossing in Texas that is famous for stopping people and arresting them for weed with weed. I mean, that's just like their whole thing is. I've met people who've worked at that crossing as like border patrol guards and shit, and have talked about the people they've pulled over and the buses they've gone into and the people they've arrested for marijuana. 100%. A guy I used to work with.
Well, that's the place where like Willie Nelson got arrested for Christ's sakes.
Willie Nelson was one of the people he arrested.
Yeah. I mean, it's a badge of honor for them. Like the second that they can pin something on, but I'm not gonna lie, I like fucking with people when we're going through a border crossing. Like, not in a like you're gonna get like illegal, like they're gonna take legal action on you. But I have been known to hide a dildo in somebody's car when they're going through customs. Like, I did that to a buddy of mine in high school.
Is that like going to Canada?
Yeah, we went to Canada.
Okay,
and
so
I put a dildo like, just kind of like it was in the back of his car, like under the trunk mat where you lift it up and the spare tires like down there. So I just had like this dildo just sitting like kind of in the spare tire well. And I'll never forget, the border guard like pulls it out and he's like, "What's this?" He just kind of wags this jelly dong in the air. And the kid I did it to was this kid named Ryan. And he had already like been mortified because it was his sister's car and she had like tampons and pads and they were asking him about that shit.
That's so mortifying. I didn't have a sister. That would be the worst if that would happen to me.
Right?
Really?
Oh yeah. Dude, fucking tampons and pads in your car. How old were you?
We were like 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so it was
embarrassing.
embarrassing.
I
already.
grew up with all sisters and was in a relationship at a very young age. So I was like 18 going to the store and buying pads.
Yeah.
You're a real man.
You're
That's
a
why
real
you're
man.
a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
That's why God cursed you with a daughter.
it's the worst.
Have you guys seen? I watched a bunch of like cable television, just because it was nostalgic to be in a hotel room and watch cable TV.
Sure.
And one thing I saw was this new.
I have cable, so I just watch cable television all the time.
God,
Okay.
you're such a dad.
You are such a dad.
Wow, back to
Fucking
back, dude.
Join the 21st century, Matt.
Sports. I gotta watch sports.
Good. That's a good point.
That's a dadism.
fair.
Though. That's a very dad thing.
very
Can't you
dad
just do that
thing.
on Twitter now? Because like I feel like I watch sports on Twitter. I always see like the dopest shit that happens in sports on Twitter in like 8 minutes a week.
Here's why I got it, because it was either I'm gonna go to Zips and get fucking drunk and eat a shit ton of food every time I want to watch.
Their golden
really
wing
is like
sauce is
hanging out
real
with
good
my
though.
dad. This is so fun.
Like, I'm either going to do that or I could just sit at home and watch it. And I
Yeah.
figured it would be cheaper and better for my health if I just sat at home and watched it. Yeah.
Anyway, so I saw this commercial. It's a new commercial, and it's by a tampon company, and it's like, what if everybody had one? And it was like they had dudes like asking other dudes for a tampon, and then they had like this little kid come in and tell his dad, like, I think I got my period. And it was just like, maybe it wouldn't be as stigmatized. And it was like, no, like, it would.
It's a weird commercial.
Still would.
Yeah,
It was a very weird
Are
commercial.
you kidding me? Like you can't even fart in front of people. Like,
Yeah.
could you imagine being like, I'm bleeding right now, or like every complete stranger? Get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here.
no.
Way.
Like, even women stigmatize their period. Like, they don't want to hear about other women's periods unless, I don't know. Maybe they do.
I'm not gonna join into this. This seems like
Typical Bill woman bashing.
I just got back from North Dakota, so I'm full of it. You know, I'm ready to bash.
Oh,
I'm ready
North
to-
Dakota Bill's back in
I'm ready
town,
to bash.
folks.
I'm ready to get some. Let's talk about some racial issues next.
Oh, Jesus.
J-Town Bill.
Yeah. Fuck that place. Jesus, what a fucking hellhole.
Oh, come on. You had a good time.
Really. I mean, the only thing I did was work for my mom and then smoke weed with my brother. That's it. That's
Sounds nice.
literally
Sounds
it.
like fun.
Yeah.
It snowed the last day I was there. I left and there was 3 inches on the ground already.
Yeah.
And there's nothing the night before. Like, it just started coming down. And in the time that I drove through North Dakota, they had gotten like 7 inches of accumulation at my mom's house. And then the next morning, she had like 3 feet.
It's insane.
Yeah. Like,
What's the population of that town?
16,000.
Oh, that's a small town. Actually, do you know that's actually a large town?
Yeah,
That
we
is
had
a
this
large
conversation
town.
Learned about
the last
this.
time I think we were on this podcast.
It's a very small, large town.
As
Yeah.
far as large towns go,
Dude, I
on the small side.
I fucked up and just shouldn't have. I should have left the day before because I had to drive. Like, I drove through a blizzard and I haven't driven in weather like that forever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it was just fucking terrifying the entire time. At one point, I was passing a semi and like the wind kicked it sideways and like kind of kicked me sideways a little bit. Yeah. I will say this: that Jetta I just bought has the best traction control in any car I've ever owned in my
Nice.
entire life. Like,
Good. Yeah,
that
you'd-
thing probably
if
saved
you were
my
driving
life a
that
couple
fucking
times.
Kia,
Ooh.
you wouldn't be back. You'd
No.
be dead right now.
No, that Kia would have killed me for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the Kia would have died. I would have died. I hit a raccoon.
Oh, nice.
I was
I like
like,
raccoons. They're very smart.
They are very smart, and they
Except
wash
for
their
when they're-
hands. They're real clean.
Except for when they're playing in the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was
smartest
doing
thing.
too. It was like it's like 4 in the fucking. I was on my way up there. It's 4 in the morning, and my GPS routed me like on these back roads through Nebraska and South Dakota. And at one point in Nebraska, I was on like a fucking dirt road, like just trying to connect to another highway to keep going north, because there's just no northern interstates in the middle of any of those states. Like, all the Great Plains states they just go like across. They don't go up.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It's fucking I don't know why, but fuck. And I'm driving, and I might have nodded off a little bit. Like, there might have been a little.
Shocker.
Jesus.
Shocking.
I open my eyes back up, and there's 3 fucking raccoons in the middle of the road, and
Ugh.
like they just kind of scatter, and I heard the one of them just thump, and I was like, oh no. And so it's like I'm damn near delirious. It's 3 in the morning. I'm fucking like just railing caffeine and like smoking my weed pen, and
Counteractive. Those
What a
two
fucking-
things.
What like is so much dumb shit
and
in one sentence.
I'm fucking crying. I'm fucking bawling that I killed this poor little raccoon.
Oh, because I'm crying, I have to start masturbating. Obviously, I have to counteract everything I'm doing
You gotta.
today.
I mean, if you're gonna make your own lube, why let it go to waste? You know. So yeah, on the way back, I almost fucking got a deer. That was real.
Almost got a deer.
Almost got a deer.
On the
I
way
mean-
back, I almost died. Is what he meant to say,
Yeah.
but he.
I mean, if I'd have hit it, I would have definitely thought about like cutting a piece off of it and eating it. Like if you,
with my bare teeth.
no, I have a knife. I have a knife in the car. I travel with knives.
Man, what is wrong? What happened to you?
I travel. I always
This is-
travel with a knife.
This is
Actually,
what happens when he goes to North Dakota. He,
Yeah,
he,
he
like,
drives there in like one day. Like,
Yeah,
have
it
you
was-
ever heard of pacing yourself?
no.
No,
No.
clearly not.
No.
how
Never.
far away is
It
it?
was 24. It was. It took me 24 hours and like 45 minutes to get there.
And you drove nonstop?
Yeah,
You're a fucking maniac.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
and then
It's not even a good idea. Clearly, you hit an animal and almost hit another one.
well, I was on the way back. I almost hit the deer, and it was just standing in the middle of the road, and I saw it like almost as it walked into my lane, and I beeped the horn, and it like fucking did a U-turn and ran the other way.
You got to beep and you got to flash your lights.
Yeah.
Because they'll get
They like
they'll get-
run
they
towards
get,
the
well,
sound.
they get like blinded in by the light and they like freeze. So
Mhm.
you have to flash them and pop your horn a bunch of times.
I-
I've almost hit several deer/elk.
I got pretty slow for him. I saw an elk in the ditch. Jesus Christ! I thought it was a horse right away. It's so fucking big.
Dude,
Yeah,
they're
gigantic.
They're fucking
I
massive.
I don't think I've ever like as an adult seen an elk in real life, and that was like one of
Been
the.
to an Elks Lodge.
Did you get me too?
Yes.
Did I ever tell you about
Par for the course.
Did I ever tell you about the elk graveyard I found?
You found a graveyard of elks.
So
Was it like the
yeah.
elephant graveyard in Lion King?
No.
but more.
Well, it
more
kinda looked
redneck
like
and
that.
Payson-y?
It kind of looked like that. This was the spot where whenever an elk got hit on the highway, this was like the closest spot within a few miles that they would drag it off and leave it.
Oh.
And so we were just like riding like a Polaris Ranger like around the trails with like the kids, and
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden like this fucking smell just came up out of nowhere, and it's this clearly the smell
Just
of
death.
rotten death.
Yeah.
Like, and it was just like, what is going on? And so we drove a little bit further, and then all of a sudden there was probably about 20 elk carcasses in various stages of decay. So there was like
No, thank you.
over here there was just bones.
Did you go walk through and have a little science lesson with the kids?
No, not at all. We kind of looked around real quick and it was like, this
You find the
smells so
antler?
bad we got out of
Did
it.
you find the antlers in there or not?
There was antlers in
Yeah?
there.
Did you take them?
No. Because
Dude,
it
I
was
fucking
fucking it was nasty.
I bet.
It was so
It was
gross
pretty
back
gross.
there.
So you didn't like shake that elk?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
I didn't shake him down. Then there was one that was, like on the verge of exploding.
Oh.
Yeah.
From the death bloat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cows. So that like where I lived, it's lots of like ranchers, and it's open range. So
Uh-huh.
they'll move the cows through the woods to different pastures and shit. And they'll just wander out in the road and they'll get hit.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll drive, and we used to drive back and forth between town like 15 miles every day because of where we lived. And so you would just drive past a cow
Mm-hmm.
every day for a week and watch it get bigger and get bigger and get bigger, and then see it after it finally exploded and see all the fucking
Did you ever
vultures and
see
shit
like
around it.
did you ever see pictures of like whales and shit when they wash up and they're dead and then they do
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Oh.
Did you see the video
Uh-huh.
of them blowing the whale up?
This is one of the fucking grossest things in the world.
Have you
Oh
ever
my
seen
god.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's pretty hardcore.
That's pretty
Like,
awesome.
I should if I remember I'll fucking put a little video of it up for everybody so that they can appreciate.
You're not
and
gonna remember.
I might maybe.
It's fine.
You know?
I mean, don't get our hopes up like that.
Ah.
Don't make
I
me
mean, no
excited.
promises, everybody, but maybe Uncle Bill will remember. So another thing I did while I was home was I got to not while I was home, but on the way back was getting to go to Big Sky, which was a pretty cool
Yeah,
experience.
how was that?
It was really good. Like they were super nice. They had a lot of industry there that we had at Big Pine, which was really cool to see, and just getting to see that industry again and bullshit with them and whatever. Just it was like it was validating for our festival to go there and be like, oh, these guys are here too, and this festival's been around 8 years and they're top 5 in the country, so that was really fucking cool.
If they're top 5 in the country, what are we?
We're top 10. I don't know exact number.
Based on whose rankings? Like,
Yeah,
who's
like,
I don't know
ranking
who's.
these
I don't know who
things?
ranks them. I don't know. But I've Googled it before, and I've seen
It's
like
top 10 out of
yeah.
That's legit.
I mean, fuck yeah, it is. Like we've been at it for 5 years, so it should be fucking worth something at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had one person who I met where I was just like, holy, so I rarely run into comics anymore where I'm just like, fuck, I really love your comedy. But there was the dude there who was just fucking above, in my opinion, above everybody, just with delivery and content and everything. It was Brian Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
His shit was just fucking fantastic. And then conversely, I can't fucking remember how to say her name. Caitlin Palufalo or something like that.
No clue.
Just both of those two were just like, they stood out so fucking hard to me, and for whatever reason they didn't win. I have no idea why. And I feel like contests, the funniest person doesn't always win.
No.
Very rarely.
Absolutely not.
But doesn't that bother you?
As someone
Yes.
who's never won a contest, the funniest person very rarely wins the contest.
Jesus. Wow.
Oh my. Oh my. Take it down a notch. Over
Oh,
there.
I can suck my own dick if I want to.
Dude.
I mean, did you get a rib removed? Because you're pretty good at it.
I got 2.
That was
Got
that was
2
pretty
taken out.
aggressive.
Thank you.
There's,
Thank you.
I mean, like, I've seen it with my own eyes where people are just like, you know, they're like, I want this person to move on, and it's just like, okay, well, that means that somebody else has to be cut, and like, and it's just like, you don't always have to be the funniest person. A lot of the time, you're like the most liked person, and
Yeah.
that's like, honestly, that happens probably more often than the funniest person.
I know
which
it,
is
dude.
unfortunate.
It's
Yeah.
super unfortunate because it's like, I don't know. I guess I always came up and everybody told me, well, not everybody, but the people that I looked up to would just say, like, be undeniable. You know,
Mhm.
like that was the line Steinberg used to like to say to me when I was first starting, was just, if you're undeniably funny, you can get away with saying whatever you want, and you know, you'll go somewhere with this. And
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't know if that's
It's still true.
is it still true?
It's still true.
Because I see
It's
these
totally
people
still
that are
true.
undeniable, and I'm just like, well, why are
I
they
mean,
getting
A lot of times
denied?
it just takes longer, you know. Like, I think a lot of people expect to just like pop overnight, or that like it's just like, that's the funniest person I've ever seen. Why aren't they famous? It's just like, that's not that time right
Yeah.
now. There's a lot of times where you see people that aren't particularly funny, but they're also like, they're being looked for.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes you just fit something that people really want. It's like, there you go.
Yep.
You know, and like, not good for you. Honestly.
I mean, I am the last person who's going to hate on that. Like, if you have a way that you've figured out how to do something, then fucking good for you. Like,
just hope they're at least decent. 'Cause
Yeah.
sometimes they're like fucking garbage ass people.
Well, I think sometimes people get picked for something before people realize, like, oh, you're a problem, or oh, you're not really good. And
Yeah.
especially in, like, if you're looking at a competition, it's what?
There was-
4 sets, 3 sets, and it's like
these were 2.
2 sets.
Two
So
sets.
you're looking at 2 sets.
They
You
would
see the
switch-
first set, it's great. The second set, maybe who was the dude? They always talk about it with the fucking Just for Laughs chicken. The
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
chicken dude.
Oh,
And that was
yeah.
the last. That was the guy who killed all of those giant development deals that were just getting the $500,000 checks
They were
that
just getting thrown around, yeah.
because he went up there and he killed, and then they gave him a big development deal, and he was not great, you know.
There was one kind of controversy where dude ran the light to the point where they cut him off.
Oh
Ah!
They cut his mic,
The worst.
and
That's a nightmare.
that is a nightmare.
they put him in the final.
That's crazy.
That
It
is
was
crazy.
insane to me, and I think that must have been like
Was
one
he
of those.
killing?
No,
No, he was not killing. And
not in my fucking opinion.
okay,
Like, I don't know what room anybody else was sitting in, but he was like just steamrolling through a 6-minute set, and he was like he didn't take a breath. Like, that's how fast he was speaking.
Wow.
And the night before, apparently, it wasn't much better, and he got pushed through. And I was just like, that's got to be, like, one of those deals where someone was like, no, put him in.
Yep, probably.
It's fucking nuts.
Dude, I don't get why, like, the comedy competition is a thing that happens.
I don't either.
It's like, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. You know what I mean? Like, especially now that they're pushing, like, not that they're pushing, I'm sorry, that sounds terrible, but like we're encouraging more people to like do comedy, you know what I mean? So it's like now you really do have more voices doing it. So now especially now you go out into a competition, it's like what metrics are you being judged on that you should be competing against each other?
Exactly.
I fucking hate the idea of competition because it's just making artificial competition between people.
Absolutely.
And
I
then
think for competitions it makes it like sexier to the layman because it's like these comics, it gives it like an extra layer of drama to people, and
not to just the
then
regular people, to the comics too.
Well, yeah, it does. But then I think it maybe a little of the psychology behind it is like if you give people like if you tell these audience members like, hey, you get a voice in deciding who's the best, you know, like maybe they're more invested in the show. And I don't know. I think that might be kind of... Cause
I know for a fact that there's one competition that says that the audience gets a vote, and they don't count the audience vote. And it's a major competition.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucked.
It's, some would even call it like the World Series of it.
Oh.
I know, it's crazy. Fucking cash grab pieces of shit.
That's
That's
the Super Bowl of comedy, right?
Yeah,
That's what you're talking about. Super Bowl of
comedy.
comedy.
Super Bowl of comedy.
Got
It
it.
is the... Oh my god. I got way too high there for a second.
Okay.
I was like looking for something, I spaced, and we're gone.
It's okay.
Dude,
Sometimes they fly through.
I think like probably the fairest competition I ever did was Kristen's competition where he did
Vote for three.
the give away the car,
Yeah.
and he just had the audience, everybody in the audience vote for 3. So like you picked your top 3, and then it would work out that, you know, even if you brought people,
some people would pick.
Mhm.
Yeah, the people you brought would like. Yeah, that's the shittiest thing about competitions is, I know you're trying to get people in the door, but when you add a bringer aspect to it, where it's like you're gonna get extra points if you bring people, and that's all. I understand about putting asses in seats, but I don't know.
That's another.
I've never understood comedy competitions.
Well, I would just
I've
like
never
to-
particularly liked them. I seriously, legitimately have my worst sets at every fucking competition ever.
Because it doesn't like promote what actual stand-up is. You
Right.
know what I mean? It kind of like promotes the ideal Booker scenario of stand-up. Like,
Yeah.
here you go up, you do like 6 minutes of material, but there's like never a time when I go on stage and I don't at least talk to somebody in the crowd or like make a joke about something.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that happened in a competition that is detrimental for
Yeah.
you to
No,
do.
absolutely.
Like Morgan J.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say, oh, he does too much crowd work.
Dave Nile does
Or-
that joke where he calls back everybody's
Yeah.
stuff. Put him
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
Can't do as many callbacks. Can't. Cause
Yeah.
feels
But
like stealing.
they both murder.
Yeah.
And
They're
honestly,
fucking-
Morgan's crowd work isn't crowd work. It's like
Yeah, it's material.
It's material.
Yeah.
And the fact that they don't see it that way is just mind blowing to me. And it's just like, well, how can you judge the rest of it if you don't know what that is?
It's a control thing, I think, a lot of the
I
times.
think so.
It's the same thing with like the clean like if you meet people who are very much like, I book clean comedy.
Yeah.
Like Tony Tripley was on a panel with somebody that does clean comedy, and he's like, well, I did a clean show one time and I was crushing, like murdering. Nobody was doing as good as me. He was just like kind of stroking his own dick a bit. He's like, and then I was like, is it cool if I get dirty? And the crowd was like, fine. And then he continued to murder, and she was just like, I would never book you again. Ever, because I want you to do what I say, and if you
Right.
don't do what I say, then you don't get booked, and that's what competitions are.
Do you
Yeah.
think those people go away eventually? Do you think they
No.
end up so you think those people end up just sticking around forever and continuing to
They have a successful thing, and they're control freaks, but like it works for them. Like
Right.
they have their own pocket universe. Like they're not going to go away. You know, if it's working, it's going to continue to work. because they'll always have people that'll perform for them. People want stage time.
Yeah.
That's true.
Same
Like-
thing with the comedy club. I mean, there's fucking comedy clubs where dudes are known for like banging chicks out, fucking, like touching people inappropriately, and they're still open.
Yeah, that's crazy. that's to me that's insane.
Locally. They're still open locally.
And it's not
Yes.
like this is the only place in the country.
No.
You know what I mean? This is just this
No.
is like, this is a slightly above average market.
Yeah.
Right.
It's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
You've
happened
been
ever,
hanging out with
hopefully.
Rick too much.
I know. Yeah.
Fucking
just
say
called him out
markets.
now.
Oh God! Shout out to Rick Bronson, and his houses of comedies,
Yeah.
and his business-like mentality that has warped our young little Brian Kearley's brain.
Yeah. He only calls it. This market. He won't call it the city. This market.
It's hysterical. He calls golf courses tracks too.
Does he really?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's
That's
a Canadian.
that's
thing.
a
it's a
Canadian
Canadian
thing.
thing.
Yeah.
but
I like-
it's-
I don't mind it. It's the same thing like
Golf
mosquitoes. They call them mozzies.
He doesn't call it a golf track. He just refers to it as a track. He's
Just
like,
call
so
it-
how's the track out there? You got a good track? Like we were playing this track the other day. Yeah. Yeah.
Weird. That-
It's interesting. I was like, I've never heard somebody refer to a golf course as a track.
Do you think it's
It
a
just-
Canadian thing, or do you think Bronson's trying to get a catch on like Fetch?
No, I think it's Canadian.
I think it's Canadian. I
Okay.
100% think it's Canadian. But that's the only person I've ever heard do that. So
They have a couple. There's like a couple little unique things that Canadians say that we don't. And I always love like the
I'm
difference.
sorry. That's one.
They don't internationally they say I'm sorry, which is something that America's never done.
Have you guys ever known somebody that just like apologizes for everything, like
Yeah.
to the point of it
Oh,
being
yeah.
annoying?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I had this buddy in high school. He first of all he would insist on driving everywhere, but he'd have like incredible road rage, which he never apologized for. like so scary. Where I'd be like, dude, I'm white knuckling here. Can you please like calm down? But anytime we went to get fast food, which was fairly often, every time he would order, he'd be like, she'd be like, hi, yeah, can I take your order? I'd be like, I'm sorry, yeah, could I get a number one?
Ugh.
I'm sorry, with a Coke? Like, literally say, I'm sorry in between everything as he's ordering. I'm like, why are you getting cucked by a drive-through window right now?
Insane.
You imagine him having sex?
I've heard him having
I'm sorry.
sex.
I'm sorry. Was
He
it-
did not.
No.
He did
No.
not.
He
wasn't
did not
sorry?
apologize for
No,
that.
dude, that kid he ran through some chicks.
Did he?
Yeah.
I bet he had
Very
a piece on
loudly.
him.
He must. He was a small kid. He was a twin.
Oh, he had a piece on him.
He had a bit of a. It wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't gigantic. He would like cartwheel naked in the hallway one time, so we like saw it. It wasn't erect, but
Mm.
Right.
I guess it was like, a bit of a piece. He was just a fucking animal.
Okay.
Yeah.
They get things done. Those animals.
That look at a dick from upside down, like it's not the best one. I
No.
used to angry elephant people in the dorms. You ever angry elephant anybody?
No.
You dr-
What? So stupid. I already know this is the dumbest shit ever, but I can't wait.
you draw ears on your like thighs.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Sorry.
You
There's
draw-
that much foresight
Yeah.
into this
Oh,
prank.
there's a little planning involved. There's a little magic.
That's a lot
artwork.
of planning. That's not a
gosh.
little
I mean,
planning.
there's just ears, and then you draw eyes on your nuts, and you do a handstand in front of someone's door, and then
That's too much.
you knock with your foot.
You knock with your foot. Bill, what the fuck is happening right now? How this is
And
like
when
an
they
Urban
open the-
Dictionary entry. You're just fucking reading from memory. How dare you?
And when they open the door, you go angry elephant.
Stop it.
You never
shit.
pranked anybody like that?
No.
What's the worst prank you've ever done in somebody? Like,
Worst prank I've ever done.
well, I mean, I shouldn't say worst. Like, what's the funniest prank? Like
Honestly,
eyes.
I mean, I don't think anything's topped my back hair dick so far.
That's been a
Back hair
pretty
dick's
good one.
pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah, that's like one of my all-time favorites. I'm trying to think.
What about pranking another person?
Pranking another person. I gift wrapped my friend's entire room, like bed, walls, dresser,
Ooh.
That's a
television.
good one.
That takes a lot. See, and you're
It was
talking
a long
sh-
time.
You're talking shit about using a magic marker for about a minute and a half. And you wrapped an entire motherfucker's bedroom?
That's what happens when you do Adderall.
So what did he do to deserve being gift wrapped?
He went to work.
He went to work.
Yeah.
And you just
What a-
like, fuck
what a
it.
bitch.
Yeah.
You're just like, fuck it, I got the day.
Me and his twin brother, we he came over. Is
this I'm sorry guy?
Yeah, we were. I mean, we were great friends. We got into some real shit together. He was just a fucking animal, but yeah, we were just hanging out, and his twin brother Mark went to work, and it may have been my idea, honestly, but we're like, we should gift wrap Mark's room, right? And he was like, yeah. So we went to the dollar store and we just bought like $30 worth of gift wrap. They came in like 3 packs.
Yeah.
So, we got like I think like 90 rolls of gift wrap, and it's just like
Jesus.
lay them out, tape them to the walls. Like we taped his ceiling. He had something hanging on it. It was like a snake that he had hanging on his wall. We took that, we wrapped it, we fucking threw it back out there. Dude, it took a minute. But it was a blast. Yeah, we went through.
What did he do when he got home? Was he just fucking
Dude.
irate?
He came in and it was like he may have also had like a rocking horse that I think we gift wrapped.
Oh my god.
Which was like weird.
It's very weird for anyone over the age of 5 to have
Yeah.
a rocking horse.
And I think he had to have been like 21. But he came in, he opened his door, and he just went, okay, and just started ripping, like, just fucking tearing shit. There was no words, just like, you just heard like, whoosh, and shit flying in the air. And we thought it was, I mean, I still think it's hilarious, but then after 30 more seconds, we're like, oh, he's very upset about this. And I think he ended up calming down after, like, he ripped it down fairly quick. Because, like,
were you upset with how fast he ripped it out?
No.
No, I would have been, because I would have been in there like, hey, I fucking worked hard on that.
No, I just sat there like
Just rubbing it in.
didn't even have to watch because I could imagine. Like I was looking at his twin brother, like his satisfaction. I'm like the opposite. That's what he's doing in there right now. This is beautiful.
That's hilarious.
hysterical.
What have you done to somebody? What's yours?
Oh, fuck. I fuck with people all the time. I really do. It's really one of my favorite things to do. I was doing construction, and we fucked with each other all the time. But I had fallen through a roof like 2 weeks prior.
He was definitely doing construction.
Yeah, I fell through a roof.
Or he was just pretending to be Santa again.
Pretending to be Santa. I do that a lot. So I fell through a roof, and so when I came back to work, everybody was like, real like, oh, be careful. And it was like, it wasn't my fucking fault. It was
really the roof's fault.
It was the
Yeah.
roof. It was very poorly constructed, and where shit should have been. It wasn't meant I was being safe, but I fell. Whatever. I came back to work. Everybody was super fucking nervous all the time, and I was tired of it. And so we were demoing this house, and I was on the 2nd floor, and I took like a giant fucking box and threw it down the stairs. And everybody was working at different parts of the house, and I threw it down the stairs and it went ba 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 ba, and I screamed, and everybody came running to the bottom of the stairs, and I just stood at the top of the stairs and just laughed my ass off. So fucking funny.
That's a good one.
That's a great one.
That was a really fun one. I was with a chick, and we had watched a scary movie, and like she had gone to the bathroom, and so I went around like really like quietly and like unscrewed all the light bulbs, just a notch all the way around, and just had it completely dark so she turned the lights on and off, and it wouldn't fucking. Nothing would turn on, and she was fucking freaked out, and I laid in bed.
You just hit there.
Cackling, laughing. It was so funny. She was so scared. Yeah.
Wow, what a fucking animal.
Yeah.
It was so funny. She was so scared.
No, that shit fucking makes me laugh so hard.
I never
is
prank
pretty
people because I react very poorly to being pranked.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can see
Wow,
that.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, I have very poor reactions to being the last.
Okay, well, so like, we told you our favorite pranks. Why don't you tell us like your least favorite like the prank that you set you off the most?
What
So-
wouldn't you want to happen?
What set you
So-
off pretty hard?
The worst one ever. Like I got in a fist fight because of it.
Oh my God! I have to tell you guys this. We'll go back. Remind me
can
to
you
go
put it-
back to
Okay.
this.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm very high. Put a note on your phone.
Oh, I just remembered the greatest prank that I've ever been involved in.
So I was working on a race team at the time. I was laying in. We had like a condo that we lived in St. Cloud, and there was 3 dudes that lived there, and then my buddy's girlfriend was like living with us too, and just an awful person. So like every time I was at home, I was already stressed the fuck out because I worked with these guys and fucking had to go home and see them, and then I had to see this fucking kind of a bitch every goddamn day. So I go to the bathroom, and in the bathroom there's like the shower curtains closed, and there's like a silhouette in the shower, and it just like kind of scared the fuck out of me. Like I was the way our bathroom was set up, like there was like a separate door to go in and just sit on the toilet, and then like in the main bathroom part there was the shower and the sink and everything. So I like was in there taking a shit, and then I came out and there's this figure in the fucking in the shower, and I didn't know anybody else was home at the time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what the fuck? And I like had like grabbed the toilet brush and I like fucking opened it, and it was a blow up doll.
Okay.
So there's a blow. So then I go to my room, and I'm like, ha ha ha. I throw the blow up doll down the stairs, and I go in my room, and one of the other dudes that's there is like hiding in my room, and he like jumps out and throws 2 stink bombs.
Oh.
2?
2.
Oh.
And then like fucking cackles and like runs it. I didn't know he threw the stink bombs right away. I just thought he like fucking scared me and whatever. Then I smell the stink bomb. And the second I just red with rage. And I fucking ran down the stairs, and I'll never forget it. I got down the stairs and I turned around the corner, and we had like a kitchen island. Like as you came around the corner, there was a hall, like there was like a passageway in the kitchen island, and we had like 2 bar stools at the kitchen island, and he was sitting at one of the bar stools, and I just ran right up to him and just like right here and like knocked him off the stool. And he had the blackest of black eyes that I've ever seen on anybody for like a month.
That's not how you prank people, Bill.
This was my poor. So like, I hit him, and I'm like, go fuck yourself and whatever. And I run out to my car, and the dude that is like my boss at this company, like we also live with him. And he's like half laughing and then half like pissed at me that I just knocked Nick out. And he runs out, and I'm like outside trying to get in my car. And I get in my car. There's a cocksucker like in the driver's side cup holder. And it, like when I say cocksucker, it's a cock shaped sucker.
I got it. Yeah, I knew what you meant.
And so I just I grabbed that thing and I threw it out, and I like hit his truck with this cocksucker and put a dent in it. So then he's like fucking yelling at me and like hitting my hood of my car, and then I'm like just freaking out and punching the dash of my my car. And I go to back out because I'm like, I just need to leave, and I look in the back seat. There's an inflatable dick. Like a 3-foot long inflatable dick.
What?
And it's got a smiley face on the head.
Oh my god!
And I had literally like bit the like I fucking grabbed it, and
I decided the only appropriate action is to bite this dick off.
so fucking mad. And I left. I didn't come back for like a day and a half.
Wow.
Dude, what that is a like okay, that's first of all, that's like a 5-layer prank. Like
it
that's like a
was
bean burrito.
Yeah,
There's a lot of layers.
They did a lot of shit to me in that just like that short amount of time. Like they had set all this stuff up, and I don't think they thought I would lose my fucking mind as bad as I did. Like they knew I was gonna lose my shit. They knew I would not react well, but I don't think they realized I would like cause physical harm to anybody.
Honestly, I generally assume that you're willing to cause physical harm to somebody. That's how I would go about operating my day. Like, don't get him too mad, because then he'll hit you. Like, you know, there's people that you could see, and they're like, like people look at me, they're like, I'll get him mad, but I don't think he's gonna hit me. Like, he'll probably say mean shit to me. Like, I'm not a punch threat, but like, you, people are like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Like when you threw Lou Moon into a wall, I was like, why did he push Bill that far? This is clearly his fault. 100%. Not to victim blame here, but let's be realistic.
All right. If you let's just clear this up. If you have a cane, like, don't try to step in between someone that's having a physical altercation. Like, if you're handicapped, stay handicapped. Like, stay in your fucking lane. And
Whoa, North Dakota Bill's back in town.
No, you don't get to be Mr. I'm going to break up the fight when you got a fucking cane in your hand if you're not going to hit somebody with the cane.
Well, way to go exactly against what I just said. I was like, this guy pushed Bill. Bill's like, got in middle. Dead.
No, he did. No, I will clarify that. Lou did not push me far at all. I was trying to beat the shit out of Tom Osorio, who pushed me far. And Lou tried to get in the fucking way.
Yeah.
And so I just moved Lou out of my way.
You guys know what's really fun, and help me spread this. Thomas Osorio is Xander Beltran. They're the same person.
They are the same person.
Dude, if you look at them, I'm telling you.
It's disgusting.
They're so similar
It's
looking.
Bizzorio.
It's Bizzorio.
It scared me how similar they were, and like just kind of driving around with Xander, like he kind of acts like Zorio too.
Yes, that's what set me off to it first, and then I was like, and then I looked at him, I'm like, you just have beautiful hair, and that's why people love you.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty nice, but yeah,
he is pretty nice, but so's Thomas.
I'm not
going to agree with that.
Let me tell you,
you can't get me on recording agreeing with that. Absolutely not.
Let me tell you guys about
like he's funny.
This series of pranks that happened when I was in high school.
Oh, okay, yeah, we need to hear
Great.
this.
I remembered one that involved my ex-fiance that I'd love to.
Go for it.
No, go
Okay.
you first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, lived in a cult in high school. Like, I don't really know a lot of people, but I'm on the football
Matt,
team.
we get it. You were in a cult. Oh.
I needed to say it this episode. So I didn't know a lot of
hasn't said it
people.
yet.
He didn't. He hadn't said it
No.
yet.
Do you want to tell him about the law degree too?
Well, that's later on
Okay.
in this story. So I didn't know a lot of people, but I made friends with people on the football team. Like, all the linemen were all friends.
Because you're all
so,
fat people.
Right, we're all fat people. We all
It's
work
easy to
out
bond with
together.
other fats.
Absolutely, 100%. And so, on a trip, a couple of the other linemen put a note in my bag. I didn't see the note until like a month after like it had happened, and I was going through my bag, and I found this note in the bottom of my bag, and it says, "I love you. Like, I think we should get together," and it was signed from one of the other linemen on the team.
Oh no!
And I was like, this is weird, but I'm pretty sure someone's just fucking with me.
Yeah.
And so I went to one of my friends, and he's like, "Oh my God, you just found that? We put that in your backpack like a month ago." And I was like, okay, game on, motherfucker. And so I was in the library one day, sitting next to somebody else, who I know, kind of, not really. But I just had the greatest idea. Like, how funny would it be if I sent an email from this guy's account, which is a love letter to one of my friends? And so I watched him put in his password. And so I had his yahoo.com password. And I signed into his account.
This is some deep level espionage right here.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
This is like fraud.
Yeah.
100%. Yep.
Stealing people's-
Statute of limitations has passed.
Yep. You know that because of the law
degree.
school.
So I hacked into his email. I sent this guy this long love letter about how I've been watching him all the time, and he worked at Walmart in the meat department,
Ooh.
and like how I wanted to come and play with his tube steak.
Great.
Just all kinds of shit like that.
Situational awareness.
Yes,
Proud of you.
100%. And so I did that, and I just forgot about it. I didn't remember anything about it. And then like 2 days later, I'm walking through the school. I like in the gym, walking to the locker room, and the dude who was in the library was like, "Hey, did you send an email from my account by chance?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I am so sorry. I totally did. I totally forgot. I meant to tell you." And he's like, "Yeah, can you go talk to your friend, because he just threatened to murder me in the parking lot?" And I was like, I was like, yes, I will. And I went and saw my friend, and I laughed hysterically. And I'm like, you piece of shit, I got you back. And it was him and another guy did it. And he was like, all right, we have to get the other guy back. And so we just printed out a bunch of gay porn and taped it to his car in the high school
I had that happen to me,
lot.
too. It wasn't at the
Yeah.
high school parking lot. It was in front of my mom's house.
Nice.
And they drug it into the middle of the street, put it on blocks at like 5 a.m. and then fucking like just put gay porn like on every single window. And like I don't know if they shellacked it on or like maybe it was just a cold day and like they had some type of like gross gooey substance that was like holding, and maybe it was lotion that just stuck to it.
Yeah, sure.
But it
Lotion.
was fucking
Sticky
the most
lotion.
disgusting.
Sticky lotion. Cum, some
Thick,
people call that.
goopy lotion.
I found out who it was, and it was this dude I worked with at the time. Like I was in high school, and he's like sitting there pranking a fucking 15-year-old kid, and this guy was like 32. Piece of shit.
Oh, he wanted to suck your dick.
He might have. I don't know. He's a real weird dude. So we worked at the same place at this diesel shop, and I took his truck with a 4-wheel drive forklift, and I put it on top of a snowbank.
It's hilarious.
That's good.
What was yours? You did your ex?
Oh yeah, this was like, so me and my ex, we grew up across the street from each other, and we grew up in a small town in New Hampshire, so we had like the whole neighborhood. There were a ton of kids like right around our age. Her and I were 2 years apart, so
Okay.
like between the two of us, there were probably like 15 like groups of people that
Right.
we were like friends with combined in the neighborhood.
Right.
So we had one group of friends in common, and they were like just like the craziest people. They're just fucking insane people. Like just they were the first people that did whippets. You know, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I know those people.
Yeah. They were they
They were the
introduced
real
everybody to
bad kids.
whippets. They were the people that their parents would be like, we don't want you partying unless it's here, so we know you're safe. So it's like
Yeah.
you're like 15 getting fucking shit housed at these people's houses,
Yeah.
and like
Their
They-
parents are just as shithouse as you are.
way worse.
Yeah.
Their thing was they just started earlier than we did, so they eventually like fell asleep. But most of the time they actually didn't. They just partied with us until like 2-3 in the morning, and
Oh
then
my
eventually they're
God.
like, all right, I gotta go to bed. So I guess just tone it down a bit. But they're fucking way too drunk.
Yeah, they don't
were
care. They're fucking passed out.
so crazy. But like, so one day I'm hanging out with them and a couple of other people in the neighborhood, and the people whose house were at the Labbies were just like, they were raking up their yard, and because they were like we're in New Hampshire and there's like oak trees everywhere.
There's
So there's
actual trees.
acorns everywhere, and they've got like those big ass like industrial barrels, and they've probably got, I want to say like 10, and they were like half full of acorns, so each of them was a good 100 pounds. It was a ridiculous amount of acorns,
Yeah.
and like we were kind of helping them, like whatever, we don't have shit to do, right? And then she was my girlfriend at the time. She came over, and she had like a basically same car as we did, like
Yeah.
a Nissan Sentra or whatever, and she parked it there, and she's just a bitch. Like, just like, I know you're not supposed to say that, but like, has been, always been just such a bitch. And like, everybody in the neighborhood, they just like, my friends hated her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Her friends could barely stand her. People honestly just put up with her because she still, to this day, has the nicest tits I've ever seen in my life. Like,
A good set of cans will get you a long way in this world.
extra 5 years for me. I knew I knew pretty quickly that I had made a mistake, but I like occasionally she'd just dump them out. I'm like, it was like, dude, they might as well have glowed golden. They're like the nicest tits ever.
Nice.
I've had sex with a chick with like perfect fake tits. Michaela's are better.
Still better.
Yeah, this is a gross
Can't-
thing to say. I'm sorry.
You can't
but
beat
it's-
them. I mean, you're fine.
Yeah.
I get it.
So she's like, I mean, what, like 17, 18 at the time, right? Whatever. She drives over. She dumps her car off. She's hanging out with us, generally just like being a bitch or whatever. And then she leaves to go somewhere, which we were all thrilled about, like for real. But then somebody noticed. It may have been me. I'm not quite sure. I really don't know. But like somebody noticed that in the fall it's kind of cold. She just left all her windows down,
Oh.
like all of them.
Oh.
So we just took. She was going to be gone for like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, so we just took all of those barrels of acorns in all of the windows and just fucking, dude, filled her car. Like, just dumped them in, like, dumped
That's
it, like,
amazing.
filled. It was filled up to the steering wheel in the front and in the back and everywhere. And, like, honestly, we were dumping it in, and, like, after the first one, I was like, this isn't a great idea, but also, I'm committed to this at this point. Dude, she came back 2 hours later with like, she opened up her car and it just came pouring out. Like, it was so fucking fun. It's just like, they live on a hill too, like the bottom of a hill, so it wasn't great, but it opens up and they're just
rolling,
dumping, and they're rolling down, and she's freaking out. Like, she starts laughing, but then she starts freaking out and just immediately blames me. Like, just, dude, I was so goddamn whipped. But she's like, you motherfucking piece of... And she's like, I'm like, she's not wrong here. You know what I mean? Like, and she made me... I think we all ended up helping her out, honestly. But, like, she made me clean. She said, you fucking piece of shit. She was so goddamn mad. But honestly, top 10 memory.
That's amazing. That's a good one.
It took her, I think it took, honestly, she sold the car. We were still finding acorns in it. 100%.
I mean, I've definitely, like, I've put shit in people's car where I don't like that person. So, like, I hid, like fish under, like, up in their engine.
Oh, my God.
Like,
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus
We, in college, I unwittingly helped with Grand Theft Auto.
The game?
No.
The game, right?
The game.
crime?
Yeah. No, the game.
What's the statute of limitations?
I don't know. I don't know the kid. I don't know any. Here's what
It's
happened.
probably run through at this point, but let's just say it's the game.
Yeah, just hypothetically, we're in Grand Theft Auto the game,
Okay.
San Andreas. So
Allegedly.
that was my favorite one.
Alleged. It's all alleged.
And there was this dude that he was a real prick to everybody, and he was like Mr. Daddy's Money, and he'd flaunt it around, and so like my buddy, who was this fucking banger from he's from Greeley, Colorado, which is like not a nice area. He's this Mexican guy named Hector, and he was just like,
Aren't they all?
yeah, and he was just like, yo, you wanna come help me out like for a night? I just need you to be a lookout for me. And I was just like, sure. And they went and they stole this dude's like brand new fucking crotch rocket, and they like brought it back to the house, or not. I didn't live with them, but they brought it back to like they had like a
chop shop. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, it was like an apartment building, but they had like a shed in the back that they rented, so they took it into this shed, and they were just like, hey, we've never taken apart a motorcycle. Do you know how to take these forks off? So I just started like disassembling this bike.
That you watch them steal?
I didn't watch them steal it. I was just like supposed to be like, I was just lookout, and they were just like, just go stand over there and call us if anybody comes down the road. And I was like, whatever, yeah, sure. And then I'd like get back there, and they're like got this motorcycle in the back of a truck, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Whose is that? And they were just like, doesn't matter. And then I found out whose it was, and they were just like, you got to be fucking chill about this. And I'm like, okay. And then they were like, can you help us take it apart? And I was like, okay. And then they sold it on eBay. They like fucking ground all the numbers off of it, and they just sold that motherfucker. Oh,
Wow.
yeah, just fucking crazy.
That's insane.
That wasn't a prank. That was just a crime.
Yeah,
That's not a prank. Yeah.
Yeah, at some point, pranks become crimes.
It really, that is real though. I think
That's very true.
Yeah.
It is, it's like, I mean, we've been talking about pranks for like 40 minutes now or whatever, but like, I've been thinking I've been feeling very prankful.
Yeah.
Is that the adjective?
Yeah.
Like, I want to like do some sort of like bigger scale prank.
Yeah.
Like, you ever hear of Brendan Walsh's pranks?
Remind me.
There was an empty lot in Silver Lake, California, which is like a really hipster area, and he just printed out a banner that says Whole Foods coming soon and printed it up there, and like the fucking news came, and people were losing their mind about it.
So
and he was
funny.
just like, I spent like $300 on that banner and hung it up there, and it blew up.
That's
He
hysterical.
He would like get big printouts of him made, like stickers,
Mhm.
and then go and stick them on billboards of like him in chef outfits or like him in construction outfits. But like the stickers would be like significantly smaller than everything else on the billboard. It's like maybe a 10-foot sticker, you know, because he's just a man.
Yeah.
So there'd be like these giant billboards and then just him like, hey.
I love that he like got up on billboards to do this shit though. Like that's real commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I would be down to like, a big scale prank like that. I try to shy away from pranking people, like individually at this point. Just
it seems a little
because
mean, right?
It's not that it's mean, because it's not. I don't have like mean intentions doing it. However, people tend to get all up in their feelings about things. Like Bill, when you go
Yeah, when you
when
prank
you
him and then
go
he
and
murders
Hey,
fucking
I'm
punch somebody.
laughing about it now.
No, I'm sure
You
he
just-
is too.
He does. I'm pretty sure I talked to him like maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and we did talk about and bring that up, and I'm pretty sure he was like kind of laughing about it.
At this point, pranking somebody on an individual level, you either have the opportunity to. They either really like it and laugh about it and enjoy it, but you have a bigger chance of them hating you for the rest of their lives, I feel like, most of the time.
I feel like that or legal ramifications taken against you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a
That.
bummer. Yeah, you become an adult now. People can like sue you for
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
with them.
Yeah. It's a real.
They really
problem.
can. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's like the amount of times that I think like I probably could have been sued for this, like an action that I've done in like a state of rageful mania, and I'm just lucky I've never had anything worth suing over. That's what I've. That's what I've come up to.
A fantastic prank would be to have someone's entire house painted a terrible color while they're out of town.
Oh God,
That would be so great. That would be so much fun. And it's a day of work, but fuck.
people would fucking sue the shit out of you.
What if you did it with like chalk paint though? So the second it got
Yeah,
wet.
you just go back and repaint it.
You go back and repaint it. That's
Absolutely.
like now you're talking like a fucking $2,000 prank at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is a lot of investment here.
It's a good prank though.
I like the chalk. I think the chalk paint would be better.
No, it's not.
Well, it's fluorescent colors.
It's not going to just wash off.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
wash
does.
it off.
It's the way chalk paint works.
Doubtful.
That's how it works though.
You go
Alright.
fucking Google chalk paint, pop.
I'm not going to. It's entirely too much work.
All right, guys. This has been an hour. I love you both so much. I'm glad I'm back in town.
Yeah.
Honestly,
This
this
is
was a
fun.
lot of fun hearing about your pranks and stuff that you've pulled over the years. And
Pranks.
I think we should get some pranks going.
We should prank people.
We
I
should
think it'd be fun.
we should get some pranks running in the future here.
Yeah.
And video them and just like we could
Yeah,
just
I
do
mean
it
you
to-
have to video.
You
it,
have to video it.
obviously.
So we'll definitely brainstorm from here forward, I think, and get some good big scale pranks going.
Yeah, get some real shit going.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
Yep.
chalk paint a house or real paint it and then real paint it again.
I don't have that kind of money.
Hey, you know, it'd be a fun prank. Let's re-roof a house.
let's really fuck with somebody.
Let's build someone a guest house in their backyard.
Well, we-
Man, they'll be angry.
We're gonna fuck with someone and put a tiny house.
Let's increase someone's property value by $10,000.
This piece of shit. Got you, bitch. All right. Thank you guys. We love you. This has been Meat Sweats. Take care.
Toodles.
Meat Sweats! Motherfucking Meat Sweats! Meat Sweats!